Well, I was really hoping to use dowel joinery on the patio furniture that I'm making. Unfortunately, my homemade dowel jointing jig was not very successful. Couldn't get it to make nice clean joints. They weren't really flush. They weren't always straight. And because of the inconsistency, I couldn't trust those joints or that jig to give me the joinery that I wanted each and every time. So today's video is aptly called How Not to Make a Dowel Jointing Jig. If you can tell me what I'm doing wrong or give me a better option of what to do, please comment below because I'm not really sure what I did wrong. In theory, it should have worked, but it didn't, and I would really like to be using dowel joinery in the future. So, hope you enjoy today's video. Watch critically and let me know what went wrong. So my theory was that if I made the jig two-sided, it would sort of be a continuation of the holes, so they should match up really nicely. The plan was to drill the hole all the way through the jig and then put a top on it that would allow me to clamp it from either direction or on either side. So piece 1 would receive holes from side 1 and piece 2 would receive holes from side 2, if that makes sense. In practice, however, this theory didn't work out how I had hoped it would. The holes were nice. They did line up. Unfortunately, the alignment was off, and I really can't figure out why. Maybe my jig was poorly constructed. That is certainly a possibility. But you would think it would be pretty close, and it wasn't. So I tried this jig a few times, a few different ways. I did actually try drilling all the holes from the same side, and that was probably a little bit less successful even than using the side 1, side 2 method. But all said and done, I couldn't get it to work in a way that I was happy with, so I decided to scrap jig number 1. This is a pretty quick peek, but you can probably see that those pieces are not quite straight or quite aligned with each other. And they also didn't butt up real nice. I know that the holes were drilled deep enough, so maybe the holes just weren't quite aligned as well as I would have liked. Anyway, we're gonna try jig number 2. Thinking that maybe jig number 1 had issues due to poor quality of material, I decided to try again using a little bit higher quality material, some nice flat straight pieces of plywood, thinking that that might help the holes to align better. As you can probably guess, this method was no more successful. Well, it may have been a little bit more successful, but not successful enough. So I marked out where the holes needed to be based on the material that I was going to be working with, which was some cedar 2x4s. And then I used my Miles Craft drill press to drill the holes, thinking that maybe the holes were not quite straight enough when I used the drill block in the previous method. This resulted in a really nice looking jig, but again, I just couldn't get things to line up in a manner that I was satisfied with. I marked a center line on all of the pieces. This wasn't really relevant to the video or the testing process, but it would help me in the event that I did end up using this jig for dowel joinery, because it would help my pieces to be aligned properly. Time to test it out. I know you already know how this is going to end up, but just humor me. Even with the better materials, I still had a lot of the same issues as before. Bad alignment, slightly crooked, that sort of thing. I think I probably could have made this one work, but I don't think I would have been happy with the end result, so I just decided to scrap the project and use pocket hole screws. Once again, thanks for watching another thrilling episode of The Weekend Woodworker. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with all your friends. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on new and exciting content. And finally, sweat for it. Don't go into debt for it.